Hey everyone, thanks for tuning into this video. I'm not going to take up any of your time. I know you're super eager to see the almost finished part of how to turbo your Chevy S10 2.2 liter. With that being said, go ahead, watch the video. I just ask that you stay till the end of the video because I have some very important information regarding how to turbo your Chevy S10 2.2 liter. So please stay till the end because if you don't, you're going to be really lost. Enjoy the video. Welcome back to part 3 of how to put a turbo on your Chevy S10 2.2 liter. Now, if you're joining us without watching the second part, don't even watch the first part. First episode, literally don't watch it. Watch the second part. If you're just joining us, believe it or not, this 1969 Chevy Corvair is actually a 1996 Chevy S10. Mechanically speaking, everything here except the Corvair body is Chevy S10. Just want to get that out of the way. So in the first part, we completely turboed the car. The car is 100% turboed with the exception of my screamer pipe that I need to finish up welding, which I'm hopefully going to get to today. But other than that, the car is completely turboed, runs and drives just fine, idles fine. So far, no problems. Knock on wood. But in today's episode, or this episode, we are going to tune it, which you keep hearing me say, which we're not actually going to tune. Basically, in this episode, we are going to install this AEM, air to fuel ratio gauge, this banjo bolt here, a few other minor stuff, but we still are waiting for my boost gauge, but that won't be here till tomorrow, which is fine because, you know, whatever. So yeah, and then just some other like minor stuff. I actually am gonna completely disassemble this setup and wrap everything in heat tape, which is gonna suck because that's gonna take forever. But yeah, so I think without further ado, let's kind of get into it. I have the 2 boxes here that we're gonna unbox and quick show that off, and then we'll get right to it. Probably gonna actually do the heat wrap tape first. I think that's the most important thing to do. Okay, so first thing here, we have 2 feet of fuel line hose. This is to help regulate pressure to the wastegate. This is the fitting that goes on the turbo, and then just some smaller hose clamps. Nothing too important there. This here is a banjo bolt. Try saying that 3 times fast, but basically, right here threads into your turbo, and right here is where your oil feed threads in, and you can clock it wherever you need it to be. So instead of the oil feed sticking straight up onto my hood, that's going to relocate it really low to the ground. So there's that, and then we have the AFR gauge, which stands for air to fuel ratio. This is really to make sure that we're not running the engine too rich or too lean. This is a wideband O2 sensor from AEM. Here, I'll show you the parts number there. This is legit. There's a lot of people out there that will take AEM's design and like straight up rip off their everything, even their packaging. But this is a legit AEM gauge here. Okay, so that was actually much easier than I thought. This is fiberglass, so don't touch that with your bare hands. I basically wrapped this as is, pretty tightly, and then I cut it, and then I ran some water through it. It says that you need to get it wet, not soaking wet, like don't submerge it, but just get some water on it, and then I wrapped it super tightly. Put one of those stainless steel zip ties on, made sure that was super tight. So we got the heat wrap in there drying, and here is my very oily, greasy, crusty valve cover that's actually much heavier than what I thought it was gonna be. And there is the head there instead of the head. It looks pretty good, however I noticed there's like kind of some crap in there, right? That's not good. Also a random piece of styrofoam, also probably not good. So I'm gonna try to get that crap out of there. I'm gonna try to clean up the gasket mating surface, and then I'm gonna clean this up, paint this all nice, change out the gasket on there because I have a brand new one, so, you know, just preventable maintenance. So we got everything back together. I think the polished valve cover looks awesome. No, it's not a mirror finish, and I actually didn't really do a good job, but it matches the rest of the car, so I don't mind it. So now what we're doing is I'm still waiting for my boost gauge to get here. It said that it's on its way to my house now, so hopefully soon. So I'm gonna wait to disassemble the intake manifold because there's a chance I might not even have to disassemble the intake manifold. You know, maybe I can just splice into a vacuum line or whatever. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna hook up my exhaust pipe there and weld on the bung for the AFR gauge just so we can get started on that. And I'm not gonna heat wrap that yet. I don't think. Maybe, I don't know, we'll get to that. Anyway. You know what? No, yes, we are going to heat wrap that. Sorry. So let's get that hooked back up and then kind of figure out where we want to put it. Alrighty, the boost gauge just arrived. Not going to lie, it's kind of smaller than what I thought. Alright, so I just made a very, very, very dumb mistake. And I'm not even going to show you because the internet is ruthless. But basically, that T-piece that you splice into a vacuum line and then put the nylon hose through, I ended up kind of breaking it beyond repair. And I was like, that's okay. I'm just going to go up to the local hardware store and get another one. And unfortunately, they don't have one, which means I'm going to have to order one. But I don't have the time. So this is a temporary solution. And a very expensive one. This setup here was $17. So, what we're gonna do is we're gonna splice here, put this in, and then I'm gonna order the proper fitting I need and get rid of this. Even though this will work just fine, that just looks dumb right there. So just be careful when working on stuff like this. So without further ado, let's get that splice and let's get the nylon hose hooked up. Okay, so don't worry, it's all temporary. This is temporary. But we have the piece there bolted in. We have the grounds attached underneath that. And then the wiring. And then here, again, just temporary to make sure it works, is the power that goes to, I have that on the crank fuse. So I shouldn't have any power. And then I have the illumination on the light fuse. So I'm going to quick plug the battery back in and see what happens. Alrighty, moment of truth. Oh, yeah, that worked. Okay, and we got lights. Alright, so now it is time to install the air to fuel ratio gauge. Still, I'm doing some research on it. I do know that you want to have this at like a 10-degree angle, or I could even put it here and just weld it at an angle. So I'm still figuring that out. Hey, quick thing to mention. Yeah, so with a AFR gauge, there's actually a lot more science that goes behind that. You need to have it, I believe, 18 inches away from, basically like where the header is, like a header pipe or whatever. Like, you just want to have it like more in the middle of your exhaust system. So that's why they give you so much wire, is so you can locate it really far away. I didn't do that, obviously. I know that I was supposed to do that, which is why I'm explaining that to you here. And you want to have it away from your exhaust exit, like I said, in the middle of the exhaust system. So for me, I put it a little closer to the bottom because I'd rather have it closer to the turbo than the fresh air because I'm still getting somewhat good readings. I will explain that a little more a few minutes into this video. Just that's something to keep in mind. So yeah, just a heads up. But this is pretty easy. This part just plugs into the ponytail there and then just goes and plugs into your gauge, where this plugs into your gauge and you have wiring. So let's find out where all this needs to go. Okay, so we are just about done wiring up the new wideband sensor. I'm just welding up the bung right now. And I was a little confused by all this wiring, but you don't need any of this wiring. You only need red for power, black for ground. And that's all we need for our application. Now, if you were going to be tuning this and everything, then yeah, you'd want to like wire all that up, which I'm not going to. So we don't need any of that because all the other wiring is done through this plug. So I ran it underneath here, and we're just going to follow my boost gauge as well, boost gauge wiring, drill a hole on the inside, run that through. And man, did they give us a lot of wire. But yeah, we'll finish welding that up. And then actually, I think we might even, maybe we'll start it. I don't know. Who knows? Not me. Okay, we are basically all hooked up. We got this all welded up. We even wrapped that. We have that at a slight angle. That comes in here. I have it all tucked up underneath. And this is only temporary how sketchy I have this set up. I just have a fuse here for the AFR gauge. Don't want to accidentally blow that up. Got it grounded there. And then this stuff up here is for whatever. All right, we got that going into the gauges now, which means... there we go. All right, the moment of truth. Everything is basically done. I might get a little bit of hate on this because technically that's not supposed to be there. Don't worry, I'll fix that later. But yeah, we're basically ready to go. And also I don't have any of the heat shielding done. But I think we'll probably be okay for right now. Just to start it up and see what happens there. So let's do this. I'm so nervous right now. Alright, that's not bad. It's not bad. Okay. Alright, we'll let her warm up a little bit. Alright. It's gone up a little bit. When I was backing it out, I was giving it so little gas and it went up to 13. So I think we're doing good right now. Alright, we are on our way. I'm not even kidding. I left my driveway and there was a sheriff pulling out on a side street and he followed me, but then he passed me, so I think he's going to a call. So we are cruising in 4th gear at 50 miles per hour, 2,500 RPM, and you can't see it because it's flashing, but it's at 12.8. Oh, that just hit 13. And we are not making any boost, but if I hit it a little, it does move. So in theory, it does make boost, but I'm not doing anything right now. So, yeah, I'm going to turn around up here, but I'm still not going to punch it or anything. Yeah, see, it just went up to 13, but it still says we're doing good. All right, I'm going to pull over. All right, so I'm pulled off here on the side of the road. The paint that I put on the exhaust wrap is burning off. So, 2,000 degree paint my ass. God, I really hope that's coming from the exhaust wrap though, because it kind of looks like it's coming from the turbo if I'm being honest. So that can't be good. Other than that, it's doing good. My brake reservoir isn't hot. That's good. I'm still going to put a heat shield, but I hear a leak, a boost leak, vacuum leak. So I'm definitely leaking or something. I hear it going like that. This is so scary. I'm not gonna lie. I've never been more scared to do something like this. Oh, where's that smoke coming from? It doesn't smell like oil, which is good. So that makes me feel better. But I definitely have a boost leak of sorts there. So we'll have to find that. Okay, just started her back up. Everything's looking good. No significant oil leaks or anything like that. So now we're gonna drive home. That's looking good. Just take it super slow. Probably not gonna film though, because I want to focus on like the gauges and stuff and driving. All right, that was such a successful test drive. We're still burning a little, but I don't know where it's coming from. I still think it's there. However, it kind of looks like it's coming from underneath the turbo, which would be not good. So I am going to go around and tighten up these bolts around once it kind of cools down. Yeah, actually what I'm going to do is just tighten it once everything cools down. So I'd say that was a very successful test drive. However, I'm pretty sure it's leaking right there because I used this really big line that I got for the boost management there. And it's being held together with electrical tape, so that's probably where I'm getting that little whistle from. Inside is almost 500 degrees. Outside is almost half as cool. Where have you been all morning? That's gonna be super hot. That's insane. It's, yeah, right about 500 as well. The screamer pipe get hot at all? Yeah, that's hot. She's a little toasty. This is good, but yeah, we're gonna make a heat shield there. Other than that though, how's this? That's good. That is a little warm to the touch, but a heat shield will definitely fix that. And then the brake reservoir is all nice and cool. Dude, okay. Dude, listen to this thing scream. I'm in love. Alrighty, it has now been a few days since we, probably that last clip that you saw. Like I said, I have been testing and tuning it quite a bit. But it's handling very well. Like, it's taking boost very well. I was talking to a guy who turboed his S10 2.2, and he said that these engines love boost. He did his a little differently, probably better to be honest. But he said that for a long time he was running his on an 8-pound spring, and it just took the boost phenomenal. And he just said that he really loved it. So I've been talking to him. He's been giving me some pointers. He gave me some pointers. Two very important things he said was run the highest octane fuel I can buy. And where I am, I'm in Midwest, so the highest octane that I'm going to be able to get is probably 91, which I should be okay. He just said that when he was running 91, he would run some octane booster, which is totally fine. I can do that. Or he was running 93. The only bad thing is right before I turboed this, I filled the tank with 87 because I'm cheap. So I have an almost completely full tank of 87 octane. So one thing that I'm going to do is I think I've been getting a wrong reading from this because this is too close to the open air. So I need like a exhaust, something to attach to the end of the exhaust to keep cool air from being sucked down into the exhaust. So that's what I got. We're going to go outside of town so I don't look like an idiot. And we're going to test it with this on, see what that does, see if I get any different readings. And if I don't get any different readings with this on, then we'll take that off and I'll know that I'm getting accurate readings. Believe it or not, I actually feel like a complete moron. Okay, so I'm not really filming while driving because that's not safe and I have to pay attention to a bunch of gauges. But we just got a new high-speed record in this thing. Turns out that it vibrates like crazy at 75, and then about 10 more after that, it kind of starts smoothing out. This was good. It says 12 right now. It never went past like 13.8 or something. However, I was still only making like 2 pounds of boost at wide open throttle. But I heard like a screaming, almost like a screamer pipe, which makes me think my spring is too small, but I don't know. I'm wide open throttle running out of road and I cannot make more than 2.5 pounds. All right, we're back. It's been about a day or two. Loving the hood scoop here. It's not done yet. I didn't do the best work with my metal fitment there. But other than that, I really like it. I guess it's not even a scoop. It's just to kind of fit over the turbo. I think I'm going to put like a wire mesh here to keep stuff from getting in there. But that will really help extract heat out. And then we finished up that other tube. And I am just way in love with the way this looks. So I think what I'm going to do is mix up the smallest amount of hardener, fill that, make this transition a little bit more smooth, and then try to do some paint matching. So I took it to the next town over. I had a work meeting, so I took this. It did phenomenal. Had no issues whatsoever. Alrighty, cold start with the hood dump. It is January 15th, 2023. A good almost 3 months since I have last uploaded. As a matter of fact, last filmed for YouTube for the turbo video on how to turbo your Chevy S10. And yeah, this is where we're at. So the last thing I remember is I was still testing the car. So I didn't film a whole lot. I think I maybe said I don't want to film because I want to pay attention to the gauges and everything like that. Also, I had pulled out of my driveway going down a side street and a sheriff came right up on me. As I was like driving and holding my phone, I dropped my phone. I didn't have a hood on the car. A turbo dump coming straight out of the hood. I was just kind of scared. I thought I was going to get pulled over. Also, I didn't have like front license plates and a bunch of other stuff on the car. It's besides the point. So, I tested the car, realized that everything was going super good. I had that 5-pound spring in it. However, I don't think it was making 5 pounds. I bought it from some Chinese eBay store. So the most I ever made was right about 2 pounds of boost, and I think that's because the 5-pound spring that I bought just wasn't 5 pounds. So there was that. However, it was still significantly faster. The car was so much quicker. I could get through the gears so much quicker. I never got to test the 0 to 60 time on it, so I still wonder what that is. However, I can tell you that the 0 to 60 when I tested it was right about 15 or 16 seconds, which is not impressive at all. But I definitely made boost, so there's that. You're probably wondering why I'm not leaning up against the Corvair S10. I'm leaning up against my other Corvair. That's just a regular Corvair. That is because it has been put away for winter. I live in Iowa, and they dump so much salt and sand on the roads, and it's so bad. It's so bad, and it's rear-wheel drive, so I'm not going to drive that in the winter time, and I don't want the car, the body, or the frame of the S10 to be destroyed. So I put it away for winter, basically there was so much stuff that I need to do to the car yet, and a lot of stuff that I like put it on the back burner, and I was like, I'll fix it later. And then later came, and all the problems that I put off all hit me at once. And I was just like super stressed out from working on the car, day in and day out for several months in a row. Just every waking hour I spent working on that car. So I put it in storage. It's 50 feet that way, and out of sight, out of mind. So there's that. So part 4 on how to turbo your Chevy S10 will not be out for a while. However, I have basically taught you, I have showed you everything you need to know to turbo your S10. From how to turbo it, to installing the boost gauge, to installing the AFR gauge, and driving it. I daily drove that car. When I was testing it, I remember the first day I drove it to work, I was so scared driving it 10 miles to work, and it handled great. And then I just daily drove it for the next like 2 months. I only recently put it away. I think I put it away back in December, early December. and it did great. I had no problems, kind of. I'll get to that in a second, but it did great. If you ever had any hesitation on turboing your 2.2 liter S10, highly recommend it. It's so much fun. Totally different car or truck. Mine's a car. That's besides the point. Anyway, few things to note. Bigger injectors. I need bigger injectors. So, the GM was weird in the 90s. GM was weird in the 90s, and the injectors on the 2.2 liter S10 were some weird like side mount injector, and you could only find those injectors on the 2.2 liter S10 and like these 6 liter and 7 liter V8 engines that GM made for dump trucks. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little confused on that too. But what I'm going to do is I'm still going to get those injectors, even though it's for like a 6 or 7 liter V8. I'm going to get 4 of those injectors. I don't care. Injectors. Got that taken care of. I'm going to maybe get a boost regulator that I can turn myself. There's that, and then what was the other thing I needed? Oh, cold spark plugs. I found some that might work. I'll put them up on screen, but you're gonna have to really do your own research on what spark plugs you want to put in. But you want to use cold spark plugs, whatever that means. I don't know, figure it out. I'm sorry, it's tired. It's really late here. So there's that, and yeah, that's all I can really think about. So the three things that I need are cold spark plugs, bigger injectors, and maybe a fuel regulator. Now you hear me say maybe, and that's because I'm not keeping the 2.2 liter setup in the S10. I'm actually going to be engine swapping it. I'm going to be putting a supercharged 3800 from a Pontiac Bonneville, Pontiac Grand Prix GXP, or like a Buick Riviera or something like that. It's a front-wheel drive engine, V6 3800, and it's supercharged. And there's a few people who have taken just the engine, the transversely mounted engine, turned them 90 degrees, and hooked up a rear-wheel drive transmission. There's some other stuff involved, and made them work. And that has always been the goal. I don't want to put a V8 in the Corvair S10. S10. It's a Corvair. It's an S. I don't know. I like V8s, but I think they're a little overrated. And I have such a cool, unique build. Why would I want to put an LS in it, or a 350 Chevy, or a 454 big block, and be like everyone else? Yeah, that's cool, but I don't know. The idea of having a 400 wheel horsepower V6 that also gets 30 mpg is very intriguing to me. So that is what I want to do. So when part 4 rolls around, I will have bought everything I need. I'll make the video and show you guys that it really truly does run and drive. I'll try to scrounge up some videos that I have of me driving it. If you're gotten to this point in the video, that means you've already seen them. But that's what I'll do, and then the goal, like I said, the goal has always been to put a supercharged 3800 in it. I already have the transmission. I'm picking up the engine probably later this week. Maybe tomorrow. No, not tomorrow. Maybe Thursday. I think I may be good at Thursday. So I have the engine, the radiator, the ECU, the wiring harness, and then from there it's a bunch of other like custom stuff that I need to make. So yeah, so if you're ever interested on how to put a 3800 supercharged in a Chevy S10, maybe, I don't know, consider subscribing. That'd be kind of cool. Yeah, so there's that. And then, yeah, so back to the Corvair S10. That's basically it. Like I said, I've shown you everything you need to know. Now the ball is in your court. It is up to you now. Unfortunately, part 4 won't be out for a few months. Probably looking at around April time. Maybe a little earlier. If I get started on the engine swap, I'll probably pull it out of storage. I've been working a lot on this car. I'm getting ready to block sand it. I've actually started block sanding it. I'm going to prime it again with some high build primer. I'm really close to finishing this car. I'm hoping to have it done by mid-April. So if you guys want to see me restore a Chevy Corvair, go ahead and drop a follow. And I'm also going to be putting a 4-speed in this, so that'll be exciting. But other than that, nothing else is really exciting happening to this car. I'm sorry, I don't think anyone wants to watch a 20-minute video of me block sanding. With that being said, I hope this video has helped you guys a lot. Again, I'm sorry it's taking so long for me to get this out to you guys. And yeah, leave a like, leave a comment. If you have any comments to let me know, I'll be more than happy to ask. And subscribe, because I have some really cool stuff coming. Like I said, I'm putting a supercharged 3800 in a Chevy S10 with the Corvair body on it. And yeah, and we have some other projects up our sleeves. So we have some cool stuff coming here super soon. So with that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one, which hopefully will be out pretty soon. It'll probably be something with this car. So with that, see you in the next one.